What's up, traders? Welcome to live streaming from Forex Trading Wizard Academy. This is Forex Wizard, your trading coach. We'll be doing a live trading session, live analysis, and live discussion that we do every trading day, Monday to Friday. So, as you know, that today is the second day of the trading week. We see, as is discussed yesterday's session, though it was a bit short, but we see that most of the pairs now trending in the direction. We see a reversal as there is a monthly candle coming tomorrow, monthly close. So there is really some good trading opportunity now in the market. So before I begin this session, guys, make sure you smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done yet. There has been another duplicate stream. Probably some of you already on that duplicate stream. That is why this stream may not have reached to many of you. Hopefully that you will find it very soon. So today what we will be looking at, first of all, looking at gold. I think that the previous stream that was duplicated, some of you are stuck on that stream. So hopefully that you will get notification very soon, and then you'll jump on this one. Some of you are coming up. I see that. That's good. Thank you very much. So looking at, guys, gold. Now before I jump onto the analysis, guys, make sure that you give a like and also subscribe to the channel, and also use the live chat on the right side to write any question you have or anything that you are trading. So looking at gold, what do you see that, as I mentioned in all the analysis, including the weekly forex forecast, gold, in fact, as you can see, it has broken this level of support here. So it has in fact created a head and shoulder here. Okay, so this is a head, and we see a left shoulder and a right shoulder. So after this head and shoulder formation, we see that this is the head, left shoulder, and the right shoulder. Gold has broken to the downside from this head and shoulder. Now with that breakdown, what do you see that after this breakdown, gold is now consolidating in 1 point. So what I think gold might drop a little further. So let's look at, first of all, bigger picture, monthly time frame, and then we'll jump on to lower time frame. As you know that in all my analysis, I do always multi time frame. The reason is this is the right way to analyze the market. Multi time frame analysis will give you a clear direction in the market. This week I will create a separate lesson on multi-time frame analysis, guys. Make sure you subscribe and also press bell notification. So what do we see that from the monthly perspective, gold, because there is a monthly close coming to, after a couple of hours, only 9.5 hours remaining this candle to be closed, we see that primarily a very strong rejection from the top. Not a strong, this is basically a retracement, what I can say. And when you see back to back this kind of almost 3 months strong drop or strong rise, so this kind of retracement is quite fair, right? It's very, very simple that the price will come for a deeper retracement. Now how much it might come, let's try to speculate. Now if we take our Fibonacci for this move from low to the high, what I think that, over the next week or couple of months, we could see, not couple of months, next month we might see that gold at least to come back here at 38.2% Fibonacci level. So this is the minimum Fibonacci level, where also there is a support here on the monthly perspective, where there is a weakless candle and gap opening. So what I think that as the price has started to reverse, I think in that move after the candle close, we might see some up and down, but finally I think that the gold now slowly will revert back to the Fibonacci level before creating another bullish move. So monthly giving us potential drop. Now if we look at the weekly time frame on gold, what do we see that from the weekly perspective, there is a big bullish move happen here. So this is the bullish move on the weekly perspective, big bullish move followed by this correction here. Okay, so what do you see that there is a a strong impulse followed by this correction. I think that if we take this Fibonacci level for this weekly move, what we see that the price slowly coming back down. From the weekly perspective, what we see that gold at 38.2% Fibonacci level, what we can expect for gold to come at least to that level as well from the weekly perspective, because every time you see that when this impulse happen on gold, this impulse followed by this correction, so with that impulse, okay, followed by this correction, what do you see that gold basically has come to 38.2% Fibonacci level, so which is also a healthy Fibonacci level, the minimum Fibonacci level. And from that support, from that previous resistance zone turning support, what we see that gold has a bounce, and again from here we see that a bounce happened. So with that in mind, what we see that basically gold currently again retracing back to the previous resistance zone, which is turning support here. And I think that now it might come back here and even further lower, the way the price action is forming, which is currently turning to a bearish market. So weekly also showing a strong bearish move. Now looking at daily perspective, now as you can see, gold price just touching the daily 20 EMA, and I think that from here primarily we could see a bounce now. But I think that guys, gold might create a bounce here. Okay, so with that bounce, I think that gold will have, because this 20 EMA has not been tested properly for a long time, and I think that after testing this level there will be definitely a bounce from this level from the lower time frame perspective. Okay, I think that display. Okay, so with that in mind, I think primarily now on the lower time frame we might see some upward movement, because there is a daily candle coming to 20 EMA. So let's see if we can find any kind of short-term trading opportunity on the daily 20 EMA retest. Let me see if we can find any kind of trading opportunity in this zone. So I think that from this 20 EMA retest, gold may have a big bounce, which is highly likely to happen. Okay, so looking at now lower time frame, I'm just looking at 5 minutes now on gold, because as gold is hitting this 20 EMA. So let's see if we can take a long trade from here on the 20 EMA retest on gold. Probably we should see some movement from here. We'll look at 5 minutes to see. Let me draw the level here on 20 EMA retest. So going back to 5 minutes. Okay, so we'll keep eye on this zone, this level at 1819, and which is basically 1900. Okay, and I think that we should find some bullish trading opportunity on the retest of this 1900 level. So let me see if we can place a pending order here for potential setup. Let me look at it. Okay, so if we use pending order, let's say so already 1900 has been retested. Let's see. Okay, so Okay, so let's place a pending order on gold at 1900.51 buy limit, and stop loss at 1896.35, and TP at 1908.91. The reason I'm placing this pending order is here. If you look at the daily, there is a daily 20 MA, and I think that later today we might see further drop to test this level, and with that, you know, daily 20 MA retest. Let me readjust this one on the stop loss a little lower than this. Let's put it at 1896, guys. Okay, so this one 221 risk to reward, so around, if we take the adjust the profit target, so we'll take this gold trade on now. Okay, buy limit, okay, not by market. So I will also open in the in my account, and also I'm gonna send it to the students as well. So gold, if gold drops, then it will hit our entry gold buy limit, okay, at so 1900.51, SL at 1896.07, and TP at 1909.04. so yeah, that will be the entry and TP target. So leave that pending order here. Okay, and if gold has a spike to the downside, there is a news coming up. Let me see the news calendar today. So we could see, let me look at this, you'll know exactly which word. So there is a news coming up at US like 2 a.m. tonight in Sydney. Your zone could be different. 12:30 a.m. also there is a GDP on CAD, and early morning in Sydney NZD news is coming up. So I think that there will be volatility tonight in New York session, and during that volatility, okay, hopefully that the price will drop here, will hit our entry, and then we'll see how it happens. So let me explain why in fact I place the pending order here. Either triggered or doesn't trigger, doesn't matter, but let's explain. If it triggered, that should be a good high probability trade on this one. Very narrow stop loss, 221 risk to reward. So if you look at the daily, as you can see, the price has a, you know, already today there has been a big drop. Okay, today is in fact a big drop here. The price is approaching this daily 20 EMA. Okay, so with that daily 20 EMA, what we see that from the daily 20 EMA, the price has primarily is rejecting, but is still not there. Okay, still there is a gap between price and 20 EMA. And what I think that you see there is a daily 20 EMA is crossing along the zone. So with that 20 EMA, what I think that the price highly likely that will test this daily 20 EMA and will have a bounce to the upside. Okay, so with that bounce, if it had a bounce, then as you can see it has already created a daily head and shoulder in this zone and has broken down, so which is a primary sign that gold might come back for a deeper, you know, retracement. Because this market, if you look at the overall market, it's a big move here to the upside. Okay, and interestingly daily price came to this previous support turning resistance, and from that zone we have seen that basically the price has rejected. So with that rejection, what I think that this price again will go up on the lower time frame to test this previous support, which is turning resistance level. So from the 4 hour perspective, the price already had a bounce before taking us. So let's see what happened. Okay, so it already created a reversal pattern here on the 5 minutes time frame. Looking at, let's say, okay, so before hitting our entry, it already had a bounce. So let's change our, okay, keep it like that. Okay, we could see another bounce again. Okay, after hitting this event in this zone, you see the price is reaching now. This is the 1 hour chart, support here, support here, support here, which is turning resistance, and from here we can expect a rejection. So we look at the 4 hour. This is where you see that there is a big head and shoulder pattern here. Okay, has broken down from that head and shoulder. Now the price is going to the support here, which is support here, support here, which is turning resistance, and from here we can expect, you know, a rejection to the downside. So let's see what happened. We'll keep the pending order on. If the price come back here for retest of this level, we will add the trigger, or we'll change our entry if needed. Okay, so as I mentioned, from daily 20 MA gold has a bounce. Okay guys, so make sure guys give a big thumbs up everyone, and also subscribe to the channel. Before proceed to further, use the live chat if you have any question. Thank you. Yatman, start with US30. Thank you very much. Sir, please tell about Eurusdjpy. Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk about. Good day, coach. Good day, all. Thank you very much. Do you think gold can bounce up from daily 20? Yeah, that is what happened. We have seen already a big bounce from this daily 20 MA. Sir, explain Bitcoin. Yeah, absolutely. Look at it. Hello, coach. Can you please take a look at NASDAQ? Yeah, absolutely. Look at NASDAQ. Sir, please look at Euro NZD. I'm short on 1.675. Yeah, absolutely. We'll look at it. Sir, please tell about Eurusdjpy. Yeah, we'll look at it. Please the entry again, sir. Entry. Okay, so entry, the price immediately has gone up. It didn't come to the entry, but let's see. Again, we'll revise what's happening. This is a bounce from daily 20 MA, and I think it will come back again to the same level. Okay, so we'll look at it once the price will be, this session will keep going, so we'll look at it. Let's see what happened. Okay, so let's look at other instruments. So gold, we left it there. Okay, we have seen suddenly a big bounce, so leave the pending order. If it come back down, then we'll see. Okay, so in the meantime, let's look at other pairs. Looking at Gbpujpy, we see that Gbpujpy also having a big move. What I think that, as you can see, let me look at the daily perspective on Gbpujpy. Okay, so this market, as you can see from here, we had a, also forgot to discuss about it. So we had a successful trade on Gbpujpy today. So this is the daily chart, and as you can see from here, there is a big bounce, consolidation, deceleration. The price was creating series of lower high on Gbpusd, and today if you look at the previous day's candle, we see the daily doji, okay, that has a lower high in this resistance level. And what we could see that GJ from this zone, I think that it will continue to drop at least certain level here, because the way the price action has formed, you can see there is a triangular pattern is formed, and this is the daily chart. The price in a very important level of resistance level here. Okay, so from that resistance, as you can see, the price was creating series of lower highs, the sign that the sellers getting stronger, and that is why we have entered this short trade on Gbpusd, because the price was creating series of lower high, which is the sign that the price will continue to drop. And at the same time, we saw that there is in fact 4-hour head and shoulder formation. So with that head and shoulder, what we have seen that, so with this doji and doji, this one, the price has created a head and shoulder. So with that head and shoulder formation, the price has retraced to this level, which is the previous support, turning resistance, and from that zone we have seen that in fact Gbpusd is now rejecting. So I think that from this zone the price will continue to drop. Okay, if we find any suitable entry, definitely we will jump on a trade. It's good that, guys, the gold, GJ, euro, dollar, they're all going according to plan, and all of them in fact trending now. This is what I was waiting for. And as you know that this week is NFP week, and NFP week is really important because this is the week when you see that basically most of the good trades comes in, because the market volatile, and that's good for us. And at the same time, if you guys want to trade with us and also learn our strategy to catch trade like this that we do every day in our Forex Trading Wizard Academy, there is a link in the description area. You can visit the website and join us. I'll recommend you to join lifetime if you want to have all those trading tools that we have, including this TF strategy indicator, which is basically our trend following strategy translated into a Python script, and also available for MT4 user. You can use to screen out the trades that is giving according to the rules of our trend following strategy, along with many other trading tool. So you can find the link in the description area. So now Gbpusd, this is 4-hour time frame. Let's do quickly a multi-time frame to confirm how the Gbpusd is going to likely to move. Now from the monthly, as you know that a couple of hours later, a monthly close, and always keep in mind that monthly close and weekly close are very important candlestick, like the price action, where most of the pairs create incredible movement in the market. So what I think that if you look at this weekly price action, there is a doji from the monthly. This is a very important monthly liquidity zone, guys. You can see this is a doji here on the monthly. This is the tummy of this big monthly doji. So why it is important? Because when you see that a market, the doji, this kind of monthly doji, and you see that there is quite a few months opening and closing zone in that area. So that zone is where there is a very high liquidity. So to clarify what is liquidity, is basically it's like a magnet. Now the price normally moves a liquidity to liquidity. So the price is like that. Always the price normally will go from one liquidity to the other liquidity. So because there is a liquidity, we see that a rejection from here, and now we could potentially see it is coming to this support where there is another liquidity zone. So currently the GJ is showing some bearish movement. If we look at the weekly, As you can see, there was a big doji for big bullish engulfer, followed by previous week there is a doji. Now we see this price is rejecting, and I think that GJ will continue to drop in this direction. So if we look at the 4-hour perspective on GBP/JPY, what we see that GJ slowly creating a lower high in the zone. Okay, so there is a lower high, this one, every time GBP/JPY approaching this resistance, creating lower high. And this market structure, for me, I think that it will come back. So there is a big trade possible on GBP/JPY after the previous week's doji, previous session's doji. You can see that the price is now coming back down, and we closed a bit earlier. Our profit target was here. The reason I have closed is because, guys, you see it creates another push to the upside. I just secured the profit. Now if we find another one, we'll jump on again in this live session. So this one is about GBP/JPY. We have another one also, euro dollar. This one, let's look at that one as well. So euro dollar is where we have entered the trade. There is a middleman formation previous session on euro dollar. Let me tell you full analysis on this one. Looking at monthly, now euro dollar from the monthly perspective, as you can see, there is a big move on the monthly. So this market currently overextended. The price has broken the resistance level here. Okay, this is the resistance level, and the price is above this resistance, and we see that with this big move to the upside on euro dollar, I think that the price will continue to drop. Now if we look at the weekly, after the previous week's doji, we have seen that basically euro dollar started to drop, and what I think that this price will come back down for a deeper retracement. And also there is a previous resistance here which is turning support. And looking at daily, now euro dollar also, you can see there is a daily 20 EMA, and also there is a support here. And from that level, what I think that euro dollar will have a bounce. So if we look at the further lower time frame, this is where our entry was after this a doji. Now this doji formation is quite important, is because firstly, yesterday's live session, you have seen, guys, that we talk about euro dollar, that which is likely to be which might create a potential head and shoulder, and it did it. And with that head and shoulder, we have seen euro dollar has dropped. Now this head and shoulder looks to me that it's a reversal, okay, because it's a big head and shoulder. It's not a smaller head and shoulder. You see there is a big and then this big move, and has come back here and then created this, and finally the price has broken down from the head and shoulder. One important question, guys, to you is, why does in fact head and shoulder is a reversal? Can anybody explain that in a quick way in the chat? I want to know also your idea, your thought about these kind of things. So what I see that euro dollar has created a potential head and shoulder in the zone, and from that head and shoulder we have seen a breakdown, and I think that slowly euro dollar might come down, even break this 4-hour support zone in this area. So with that in mind, I think that, yeah, let's see what happened. The price action looks like that. This is 1-hour chart. We see there is a potentially bearish price action, and hopefully that we'll see that price is coming back down, because there was a gap opening, the bulls couldn't break the high. So slowly, highly likely this market will turn into a bearish market. So let's see, during the progression of this session, we'll look at which way the market will be heading. New York session is about to start. What's your view on EU? So euro dollar, guys, my view is still bearish, because the price is below this head and shoulder. It's a big head and shoulder, and already the price tested this support as a resistance. Okay, this is the support here on euro dollar, which is very important. Okay, support here, support here, support here. Okay, which is turning resistance here, and we see that series of lower highs being created, which is very important. See guys, some of you ask you, I think a couple of days ago, that how do you know that a retest, when the market retest after a breakout, how do you know in fact it is what it is not a false breakout, it is a valid breakout, which is there is a clue. Everything leaves a clue, as you know that. So let's say as a resistance zone, okay, the price has, you know, approached that resistance, bounce again, approach the resistance, bounce, and then you saw that the price, you know, has broken the resistance level to the upside, closed above, and then what you normally in a healthy way to trade is basically to wait for the price to come back, retest, going up, and then again come back, retest, going up, and again come back. So basically series of higher low. When you see series of higher low on the retest, that is the safest way to trade, not 100%, because you never can expect in trading to give you always, you know, winning trade. There is no strategy in the world that can give you, you know, always winning trade. It's almost impossible. So basically euro dollar, what you can see that there is a series of higher low has been created, and what do you see that in the similar way, okay, what you can see here that the price was creating series of lower high, right? Now the last session candle, this is a doji here, which basically in turn, you know, a breakout from this head and shoulder. This is a neckline of this head and shoulder with this doji. So with the doji, basically the price tested the support here. It's 4-hour time frame, as you know, the support here, tested as a resistance here. Okay, so with the test as resistance, we have seen this session, which is closing after 56 minutes, look like that it is still creating a lower high. So series of lower high after breakout from a head and shoulder could be that this price is coming back down, so which is a crucially important zone for, and we will keep our trade holding on this one to see which way the market is going. That's it. Usdjpy, yeah, absolutely, thank you very much. Shujan, what do you think about mini scalp today? Yeah, absolutely, we'll and S&P scalp, we are currently analyzing and looking for a potential good trades, but yeah, let's see what happened. So please tell about Eurujpy, please. Yeah, absolutely, look at it, because head and shoulder is a kind of consolidation and right shoulder higher low. Head and shoulder is a kind of consolidation and right shoulder. Mohammed Momin, yeah, very good answer, Mohammed Momin. What you said is right. So basically what I try to understand is from you guys is that, so the question was, what you said is right, but the question is fully not addressed. Probably I did not explain the question properly. So the question was that let's say a market creating a trend like that, right? So the question was like, what does a head and shoulder mean? Is that the market failed to create a new higher high, right? So basically the market structure is broken, because as you know that there is a language in the market, either moving in an uptrend or in a downtrend or in a sideways. So if it is in an uptrend, it should create series of higher high and higher low. But as you know, the trend will never be forever in one direction. So what you could see at some point creating series of higher high and higher low, and then the price, you know, has, let's say, tried to create a new higher high, but instead in the market structure is broken and then created a head and shoulder. So when basically the price cannot create a new higher high, that time the head and shoulder or double top or any kind of, you know, reversal pattern forms. This is the question basically, that what do you mean by head and shoulder? The answer is that head and shoulder is basically when the trend cannot create, you know, cannot continue or create a new higher, you know, new higher high, or in terms of inverted head and shoulder, new lower low. So when the market structure is broken. Another important aspect of head and shoulder is that head and shoulder has to be in an important area. Okay, you might sometime you'll see like this, you see, for example, market trending like this, okay, and then suddenly it has broken down, okay, and then you see that it created a head and shoulder here. Okay, so basically any zone, if you see a head and shoulder is created in any area, is in fact not that much relevant. Head and shoulder will be very important, you know, pattern for you when it formed in an important area. So important area mostly when the market is overextended, let's say has broken monthly resistance level or monthly support or weekly support or daily support or resistance. That is where in fact the biggest you know, advantage comes on in the market, so for trading. So this is where, these are the two things that you need to keep in mind when you're trading head and shoulder. So gold update please. Yeah, look at it. US30 please. Yeah, absolutely. So let's look at, we'll jump on gold again when we started looking at US30. Okay, so US30 today there was a drop. Okay, let's look at bigger picture, monthly. Now from the monthly perspective on US30, we see that this is the monthly candle, which kind of, you know, it's closing, there wasn't much movement. It's basically a monthly doji. What I think that it might close as a doji. Okay, if it closes as a doji, for me, I think that we might see again after a little drop some bullish move on this one. Okay, now why it is bullish is because if you look at the monthly, from the monthly perspective that I'm talking about, not from a very lower time frame. So if you look at the monthly price action here, we see that a big move on the monthly. Okay, so this is the monthly impulse here, followed by this correction, and then creating, consolidating. So a monthly impulse rejection like this. Okay, so basically it is creating a triangular pattern. Now with that triangular pattern, now what I think that US30 is likely to do is basically after this one. So when you see this kind of pattern after grabbing liquidity, would see a bullish move. So this is a bigger picture, but you know, probably the 1 hour or 4 hour or on the daily, you might not see this kind of price action. But for me, what I think that after this monthly close, we might see a grab liquidity from the support, and then we could see that again another bullish move. So initially in the beginning, as you know, that as DXY is getting stronger and gold, we see some reversal on US30 also. I think that initially we might see a drop, and then finally highly likely we might see bullish move. So if you look at the weekly perspective on US30, okay, from the weekly perspective, we see that there is in fact back-to-back two sessions. You see there is a back-to-back quite a few rise followed by a correction. There has been another impulse, the price is consolidating. And as I mentioned, let's go back to monthly. As you can see, this is the monthly support here. Okay, and looking at the weekly, this is the weekly support. What I think that this current candle, current weekly price action is bearish. This one is bearish. Okay, long term bullish that we talk about the monthly, but if we look at this one here, which is bearish, the reason is there is a double top here. Okay, now with the double top, we see series of lower high in the zone on US30, and what I think that from here the price is likely to come back down to this level of support here. Okay, so yeah, you can see the previous week there is a narrow candle, there was a bearish engulfer followed by an bullish. So basically the way we can look at is, if you look at the 3 weeks price action, you can see that basically definitely sellers are stronger in that zone. So the way you will know is from the health of the candle. They are basically the representation of the buyers and sellers activities in the market. So US30 from the weekly perspective, we see there's a bearish candle followed by an uprise, followed by another narrower candle is being created. This is the second day of the trading week, and I think that from here we could see a breakdown, grabbing liquidity, and finally we'll see trending in that direction. So for me, I think US30 for short term means like weekly perspective, where we might see a drop. So daily, as you can see from the daily perspective, the price was consolidating along this zone. Okay, so this is the resistance here, daily zone, resistance here, and also resistance. So everywhere there is a resistance zone here, and with that resistance, what do you see that basically from this resistance creating series of lower high. So with that series of lower high, what we see that the price basically is dropping. And for me, what I think that, so the resistance, support, and highly likely that the price will come back to this level of support before creating any move. So basically on the daily as well, we see that some downward movement, and I think that this market might create a head and shoulder even in this zone and then could continue to drop. Okay, so looking at now, jumping on the further lower time frame for an entry opportunity, this candle, as you can see, which is going up, significant drop. And now if we take this move here on the 4-hour perspective, take the Fibonacci from this high to the low, still didn't go to 38.2%, which is a very good Fibonacci level. The golden one at 61.8%. So I think that we might see a deeper retracement on this one. Probably you can see there is already a head and shoulder has been formed on US30, and I think that the price will reach that zone, test this previous support here, which is turning resistance, and from here we might see that basically US30 is rejecting and creating lower high and lower low. So for me, US30 currently going up for a deeper retracement on the lower time frame, for me is bearish. So if we find any opportunity in that zone, we'll be considering going short from this zone once it will show us a price action confirmation. Okay, so Eurojpy, Gbpusd, NZD CAD, what's your analysis? So let's look at these two pairs, guys, Eurojpy and NZD CAD, looking at bigger picture. So today monthly candle is very important, because when you see the market basically create a very strong monthly price action, this is where we see that there is a probability for a bigger drop on the monthly perspective. Okay, so now Eurojpy, looking at monthly, first of all, if you look at the historical price action from the monthly perspective, there is a big impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction. So every session the price was creating series of higher low. Okay, pardon me, every like impulse correction. So this is the historical price action where we see that the price was creating series of higher low and higher high, so which is that the bigger picture monthly, which is significantly bullish. Now if we look at the weekly perspective, where we see that from the weekly time frame, Eurojpy, this market in that zone also showing some bullish movement. Okay, there's a big bullish engulfer followed by a doji, so this is also a bullish movement. Now looking at the daily, okay, from the daily time frame, that's why the multi time frame is so important, because when you look at from top to bottom, it becomes easy to picture, and all the time I do that, as you know, that just to explain clearly. So from the daily we see the price is maintaining this resistance level here. Okay, and we look at the 4-hour perspective, where we see that basically this is the resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. Okay, so quite a few touch of this resistance. Now for me, I think that Eurojpy, this resistance could be a very good place for selling opportunity. For me, it's still bearish because the market, this is the 4-hour perspective. Guys, I want another thing from you. It will be really easier for me. From now on, once you ask for any pair to analyze, let me know the time frame also, so it will be really helpful for you also. I normally analyze my time frame when I trade, but if you guys want, let's say probably you trade on 5 minutes mostly, and probably I might show you a very bigger time frame. So if you're trading on the 5 minutes time frame and I'm showing you, let's say, monthly, weekly, that may not be relevant, because trading on the 5 minutes, then your 4-hour time frame highest should be okay. If you look at daily, that's better. But if you are trading on the, let's say, on the daily or 4-hour, then you need to go monthly and weekly. So that is why, if any one of you asking for analysis, just for write down the time frame, it will be easier for me. At least I can jump on to that time frame to give the final thought, my opinion in the market. So Eurojpy, as you can see, this is the 4-hour, where you see the price basically moving in a channel. Okay, this is the channel where we see this is the resistance here, resistance here, resistance, resistance. Okay, so in all of this resistance, okay, but I think that Eurojpy, highly likely the price will test this resistance and will have a bounce. So you can see that the price basically moving in a channel. Okay, so this is the channel. Okay, in that channel, middle of the channel, not a good idea, because when the price in a channel, it is likely to go in a channel. Okay, what is going up is likely to go up. That's the law of trading. What is going in a channel is likely to go in the channel. So in that case, what you could see that the price is hitting this resistance, and from here we can expect a drop. And for me, I'll be waiting for the price to hit that resistance, and from this zone we can expect a bearish move on Eurojpy. Pray that you found value in it, guys. Hello sir, everyone. Lotfi, hello, thank you very much. Help NZD CAD, I'm in long buy trade for swing trade. Okay, so let me look at NZD CAD. NZD CAD market is basically sideways. Let me look at the bigger picture monthly. So this monthly candle is going to close. guys, NZD market is very choppy. For me, the structure is bullish, but it still looks like that we might see a bit deeper down. Still bearish long-term bull, but short-term it is showing a bearish market. As you can see, this is the important level where there is the previous resistance turning support. If you look at the 4 hour, this is how it is. So you see that there is a head and shoulder formation here, and with that head and shoulder, I think that we could see some drop on this one. Okay, probably we'll see the bullish move after breaking this support zone here. Okay, we might see that slowly the price coming back here, and then from this support we might see a bounce. So for me, NZD CAD is still bearish. And also if you look at the past session candlestick pattern, the price grabbed liquidity from this resistance, created this bearish candle, so which is significantly bearish. So NZD CAD is bearish, guys. Also it's a little bit in a sideway. So normally I try to avoid choppy market. As you know, the choppy market is very most traders lose their money in choppy market. I did the same thing too when I started, because especially trading in the choppy market comes from impatience. Okay, so you have to be aware when you are trading in a market, not to jump on a trade in a choppy market. And sometimes, you know, when we feel impatient, we love to trade on the choppy market because we feel like that, okay, if I buy from here it will go up, if I buy sell from here it will come down. In fact, that's the way we, you know, lose money in trading. Yeah, hello Wizard, please tell us what you think about GBP AUD pairs on short and long term. Okay, we'll look at that one. Euro NZD 4 hour daily. Thank you. Yeah, like this. So if you write down you know, a time frame also, it's much easier for me to understand where your focus is. Gold update. Coach, can you talk about correlation between different pairs? Okay, Anisha, we'll talk about that one. Very important. When you know the correlation, it becomes easy to predict the market. So let me look at first Euro NZD 4 hour. NZD got to discuss. So let's look at Euro NZD 4 hour. So Euro NZD 4 hour, what do you see that? Let me look at, so when I'll, you know, if your entry time, like basically you'll talk right about your entry time. I will, like, in that way it will be easier for me to understand where your focus is. So from the monthly perspective, what do you see that Euro NZD, okay, there is a big monthly impulse here, followed by this correction. And now we see that a monthly doji is being formed. Now this doji is going to close after, you know, 8 hours. So what I think that this doji will be really significant here, okay, on Euro NZD. So I think that after this impulse correction, the price creating this doji, probably the next one we might see some up and down. Okay, I don't think that this market will be strongly bullish. Instead, we might see in a sideway. If you look at the weekly previous, there's an impulse correction. I think that it will be another impulse. So looking at daily, okay, so from the daily time frame, we see the price is, you know, there is a resistance here. Okay, and from the daily perspective, Euro NZD, which is, you know, from creating series of lower high in this zone, there's a lower high, lower high, lower high. Okay, so what I think that Euro NZD slowly from here we might see some bearish move or sideway. So looking at 4 hour, so this movement you can see on the 4 hour, the price is in this resistance zone, right? There is a long wick candle here already. So for me to trade this kind of market, my secret is that I need to see the market is overextended. Let me give you an example here. You can see there is a long wick candle. There is a long wick candle. So when you see this kind of strong rejection with a big long wick candle, and you see that primarily what happened, that there is another long wick candle created after breaking the previous long wick candle's high. So basically what it does mean that the price has broken this important level, created an overextended market, grab liquidity. That means that, like, let's say the car, tank is full, it carry enough fuel. As I mentioned, that liquidity is the fuel of the price, and from here we have seen very strong rejection. Now this session you can see the price already created a long wick candle, but for me I will not be satisfied until I see that this level is broken. Okay, if this level breaks, and in this session, in this candle, or in the next one, that is what I will be really interested on selling. The reason is it could be a sell trade. See, this one is closing as a doji, guys. It easily could continue to drop a bit. It can create a bigger move. The reason I'm talking about the liquidity is because this is where you see this kind of movement. Okay, see, there is this bearish candle also has the same thing. It has crossed the previous one's high, you see little bit. That is where the liquidity, and afterwards see what happened. Big move, you see that this move happened from that zone. That is why to catch big trades it becomes easy if you understand liquidity. If you don't understand liquidity, let me know so that I can also explain how it works. Yeah, absolutely. We'll look at dollar yen, full support and resistance. You look at it. Please tell us about GBP. Okay, 4-hour daily. All right, we'll look at GBP AUD, and then we'll look at the that gold and other instruments. So GBP AUD, I'll do monthly time frame. Monthly. Okay, so this monthly candle is going to close 8 hours later. Timing is very important. That what I called a fourth dimension in timing, which is very important because this is where it requires in fact a very high level of focus to consider timing. Timing means I'm not talking about, let's say, 4-hour daily or monthly candle timing. What I'm saying that context, or at what time of this, let's say, 4-hour candle closing on a London session or on a New York session could be very different than a candle in, let's say, early Asian session, or could be very different in what I can say, let's say, the weekend candle. So timing is very important. Now you can see this monthly candle is forming in a way that we might see another bearish move on this one. Let me draw this support here. Okay, so below this doji, below this long doji, there is a support here. There's a support here. With that support, but I think that the price is likely to test as resistance, and from here we can expect a drop. Okay, so this is the level that I will be expecting. Initially, after the candle close, we might see some bounce on there. Now looking at weekly, now from the weekly perspective, there is in fact a 20 EMA from the weekly as well. So the price, what it did is, see this pattern here, impulse, correction, impulse. So basically still showing possible, at least we could see a rejection from this zone that we have drawn as impulse correction. It is in another impulsive phase, but it still did not reach that zone. If we look at daily here on GBP AUD, what do you see the daily? On the daily there is an impulse, also there is a correction. Now let's look at Fibonacci level on the daily as well. So you see that the price at 50% Fibonacci level on the daily. Okay, now what we see that basically the price primarily tested the 20 EM on the daily and slowly creating a rejection, and with that rejection basically the price is forming kind of head and shoulder here as well. So for me, for GBP AUD, see there is a long bearish candle is being created. Now exactly the same view as the one that I talk about, the Eurusdjpy. So there is one resistance here, and also there is one resistance. You see there is a big bearish candle resistance, and also the same level acted here as resistance here. Okay, resistance here, resistance here. Okay, so with that in mind, okay, what we could see that basically GBP AUD, after creating an overextended market, we might see that the price is coming back down, and this is the zone that I will be waiting for a potential bearish setup. Guys, I have to take 1 minute break. Don't leave me, just give me 1 minute. I'm coming back. 1 second. I'm back. All right, so what we have seen that GBP AUD, you can see it is in fact rejecting. This is a big rejection from the top, but as I mentioned, it could be a candle that could create a movement to the downside. Okay, but for me, I will be more than happy to sell if I, let's say if this rejection, this current candle rejected from above this line 1.76508, if the price is rejecting from here, then I would definitely go for short right now. But for the time being, I will wait to see what happened. But it is also a good rejection. In fact, I always look for liquidity gap that really gives me a big edge in the market. Can we take, oh yeah, I'll look at gold now, no problems. Gold actually buy trade that just as soon as we tried to open, it left us, no problem. We'll have another one. So can you please correlate the price action? Okay, so I had another question before from Anisha about the currency correlation between different pairs. Okay, so the correlation between different pairs is very simple. Okay, so the correlation, if I consider, is like, for example, CAD is, you can say, fully related to oil. Okay, oil price, very highly influenced. So CAD is related to oil price. In most cases, AUD USD, Australian dollar, is related to gold, not always but mostly influenced by gold. And what other pairs? Dollar yen is very independent pair because both very major pair. So dollar yen, normally you see that it will not follow any pattern, but let's say euro dollar GBP USD, you might see almost the similar kind of pattern they're following. And so oil price, CAD pairs, CAD similar, and you see most cases US30 and NASDAQ behave almost in the similar way. What other pairs you have? Yeah, so these are the things. Let me know which other pairs that you think that relate to each other, but I see that these are the pairs that always relate to each other. But if you have any thought, share with us in that live chat. We want to know also. Can you explain liquidity? Absolutely. Look at liquidity. Sir, can you please correlate the price action and fundamentals of Euro NZD? And on the flip side, Usdjpy, I'm sell from New York yesterday. Okay, so show me the price action, fundamental and price action. Euro NZD. There is a NZD news coming. Climate change. So if we look at Euro NZD, because NZD news is coming, as I mentioned previously, that we do have a strategy that we teach our students in our Forex Trading Wizard Academy to understand, relationship between the price action and fundamental. So fundamental is basically the way we consider the news element. So Euro NZD, let me draw this level here. Okay, so if we look at the Euro NZD, you can see this is the resistance is being respected. We look at the daily. Let me look at the bigger picture. Monthly, first of all. So monthly, we talked just a couple of minutes ago, which is creating a monthly doji. Looking at weekly. From the weekly, I see it is in fact bearish. Daily, we see that this one also having a rejection from the top. 4 hour, but we see that there is a lower high here. Okay, so with that in mind, okay, so what do we see? That basically this is the resistance here, support here, resistance here, resistance here. Okay, so basically this price support and resistance is combining each other, and this is a very important level that in the past acted here, as a support and resistance. Now what Euro NZD, what I think that this price, this is the support here, okay, which is turning resistance here, resistance here. Okay, and the price created a lower high. So as I mentioned, if I see an overextended market, could be a good place for selling, but at the same time this current candle also is a bearish candle. Okay, but for me, I'll be more than happy to open a sell position if I see the market is overextended. Only then I can expect to sell Euro NZD. And this is the support. So from this level to this level, Euro NZD highly likely to drop, because NZD getting that stronger, as then there is a probably there is news coming up, and that could impact the pricing for creating this pair to be stronger. So with that in mind, we could see Euro NZD have a drop on this one. Okay, hopefully that you understood it. Let me know if you have any question. Please explain liquidity. Okay, so liquidity is simplest term. What I would say that liquidity is the volume, the your account size, or the money that you are putting on the market. Now why liquidity is so important is, look, consider this, all those candles you see, let's say this is gold, and let's say all those candles you see here, consider them as a human. Okay, you know, traders imagine like that. It's very important. Visualization is very important, guys. Keep in mind, it sometimes really create a different kind of image in your mind about the trading than normally the way we look at. Because if you look at this price 1913, and this is where our brain sometimes tricks us. How, let's say if you look at this 1912, I also start to think that, okay, the price was here, which is 1901. Now 1913, the price is high, so it will drop, let's sell. Okay, so that's how our brain think, because in the society, in the shopping center, in supermarket, everywhere we see the same way. When we see the price is high, a bit drop, we buy like this. But in a sense, liquidity is the main thing that you need to look at when the price moves. So how do you then apply liquidity? Is instead of pricing from, you know, price going from high to low, low to high, the price basically moves along the liquidity. Then how does this candle, when you imagine as a human, let's say this candle, instead of candle, imagine that human. So this human basically needs some energy or food, right? Now what they eat, this human, is basically liquidity. Is the way that you can, you know, think, just to be easy. So basically this candle is forming. On the other side, there are some people who are trading like you and me, or big boys, or hedge fund, or any institutional traders. So they are trading on the other side and forming these candles, right? Red candle, dodgy, green candles. So what that means is that, let's say when this red candle formed, there is a lot of sell order came in this zone. So let's say when this, during the time period of this session, let's say this candle start 10 a.m. in the morning, closed at 2 p.m. let's say in the afternoon, right? So during that time period, there were, let's say, out of 100 people, 60 people sold, 80 people sold, 20 people bought, for example. So sellers were way more than buyers, so that is why the price dropped. Simple. Now why do you need to understand liquidity? Is when someone is buying, you must need a seller on the other side, otherwise the transaction will not happen. Try to understand. When someone is buying, you need a seller. Let's say you have a mobile phone and you want to sell that mobile phone, right? You need a buyer, otherwise you can't sell that phone. Now the big market mover is the big boys. To create a candle like this, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars you need to create a candle like this. So now most trading, you know, is from the retail trader. Okay, like not most trading, what I'm saying that big boys try to hunt the retail trader, because the most volume come from them. Most people is retail trader. So because most volume come from them, let's say, to now, for example, you have 100 apple that you need to sell. Okay, now to sell 100 apple, you need at least 10 to 20 people to buy them, right? Because the buyers will buy only 1 or 2 apple from you, but you have to sell 100 apple. In the similar way, big boys need to sell this market. Okay, when they need to sell this market, they need a buyer on the other side. Now they will sell a big bulk, so they need a lot of buyer. Where they will get the buyer? The way they will find the buyer is, for example, let's say this candle, okay, this red candle, you said that, okay, wow, that's amazing, this, let me tell you this one. Let's say this is a doji here. You saw that there's a red candle formed. You said that, wow, that's a resistance, red candle. Let's sell this market. Okay, you sold this market and you put your stop loss just above the resistance zone. Okay, above here. Okay, now just above this zone. Okay, now you know that, okay, this is a resistance, highly likely this price will drop. I put my stop loss here, my take profit here. Okay, now what you're gonna do, like you and me, hundreds of thousands of millions of people doing the same thing, they put their stop loss here. Okay, now next candle, what you could see that something like, let's say your profit target is here. Now what happened is that you see it hit you to stop loss and then has come back down again. Okay, now why this happened is because big boys can understand where is your stop loss. Even they don't need to look at it. It's a normal human tendency where the volume comes. Now when your stop loss, when you are selling the market, your stop loss is a buy order. You can keep in mind, then you'll understand. Keep in mind, when you sell a market, your stop loss is a buy order. So because you are forced to be a buyer, they sold you. So what they do, they're selling to you, and though you are you bought, you are a seller, but you are forced to be a buyer, and that is called liquidity grab. So this is where very important to understand how the liquidity grab happens, so that you can grab the same liquidity like the big boys are doing. So this is the key points. There are some more videos on the YouTube channel, guys. Make sure you give a big thumbs up and also jump on the YouTube channel. There is a invaluable content available that I'm posting every day and week, and also in the past, the old videos. Go to the playlist, watch that free content. It will really change your trading. Don't hesitate to ask any question in the comment or anything. And also if you want to explore more premium strategies with us and also trade with us, also link in the description area. So let me look at now a dollar CAD. Okay, we have seen that on dollar CAD there is a big move from the monthly. As the monthly candle is closing on dollar CAD, this is the movement on the monthly. Looking at the weekly perspective, we see that basically the price from the weekly time frame, there is a weekly bounce. Now the price is from this resistance coming back down. So there is a big impulse correction. It is in another impulsive phase on USD CAD. Okay, so you see that there is a big more correction. It is in another impulsive phase. So what I think that this is the weekly chart, the support zone here. Okay, see this previous, this is the resistance here. Okay, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, support here on USD CAD. Okay, now with that support, this is the weekly candle. What I think that slowly from the weekly perspective, we might see the dollar CAD. Still 3 days to go, so you shouldn't predict on the weekly what's happening. Let's go back to the daily. Now from the daily perspective, we see that from this resistance level, okay, there is a big retest of this resistance here, resistance here, resistance. So we see that primarily a rejection from this resistance here on dollar CAD. So 4 hour perspective, this is the candle which is closing with a big liquidity gap here also, but I think that we might see further movement to the upside on dollar CAD. Don't think that this candle will be able to, you know, penetrate to the downside. For me to sell dollar CAD, I need to see the highest level is broken, then I'll be interested on selling dollar CAD. In that case, we might see the daily resistance is broken. I think later today we might see further movement to the upside again on USD CAD. Okay, so yeah, this one is looks like that slowly coming back down. We'll have another move to the upside, I strongly believe. Okay, we talked. So dollar CAD, basically, Rakesh, what is summarized is that you see there is a big move happening. Now let me know is your time frame, everybody, guys, when you are writing about the pairs, let me know the time frame so that I know exactly, because it's a completely different story, right? If you look at the 5 minutes, it's a very strongly bearish. Okay, you look at 15 minutes, also strongly bearish. The price has created a head and shoulder and then big drop. Okay, so which is pretty bearish. Okay, so this is the resistance level. Yeah, you can see that the price tested the resistance. Now from this level we could see another push to the upside, breaking this resistance and coming back down, or we could see in fact continuation down. So it depends on the next how the price is forming. Okay, if you are a very aggressive trader, yeah, you can go for short, but for conservative, I would say that a little more waiting is better for liquidity gap. But Bitcoin, yeah, NZD with what's your thought? NZD, I think we discussed, looks like bearish. I'll look at again. Thank you, Muhammad Jadat. Thank you very much for your support to the channel, guys. Make sure give a big thumbs up and also subscribe. NZD CAD. Okay, okay. George, sir, do you think gold will drop again after testing some support at? Yeah, I think so. I think so. Okay, so okay, there is a 2 probability. I think so. That could be because there is a monthly close coming. Let me look at the monthly. When the monthly close come, you see this rejection here, sometime reversal also, this kind of rejection. You see the same thing here from this support, a big rejection. Okay, a big reversal here. All right, so in the similar way, okay, from here there is a big rejection from here, right? Also the same thing, big reversal, and in the similar way from this support we have seen a rejection. Now this rejection could be a reversal. Okay, let me draw this. Okay, so then how we will approach? For me, okay, I think that after this candle is closing as a big bullish candle, right, this one suddenly big rejection. Now depending on the next one, really, gold, I think that because the monthly close is coming, it is not impossible to see that in fact again the price has gone up, even coming to this zone. Yeah, because ultimately on the monthly there has been a significant retracement. It is possible for the price to go up again, at least to the weekly opening and closing zone. Daily, same thing from daily 20 EMA. We have seen this bounce, and yeah, I think that it's highly likely to happen. Big bounce on the daily. So I think the way it is forming now on the 4-hour perspective, it's a very strong rejection. Yeah, we might see that slowly the price, it might not create a new higher high, but we could see some bullish move. As I mentioned earlier, that the price always move towards the liquidity. Okay, so the main aim for the price is to grab liquidity. Okay, so there is a lot of liquidity in this resistance. I think that in this move the price will break this resistance level here. Okay, after breaking this resistance, and then we'll come back down again. Basically, I think the price is now heading to this resistance. Okay, and with that resistance, I think the price will have, hit that resistance, and then could potentially see that the price will come back down. So let's see what happened. I think that's a big rejection from the bottom. Look at daily, weekly. So this is 1-hour chart. For me, I think that the price will just, after deeper retracement, we could see that gold is breaking this zone here, because it grabs a good liquidity, and exactly from this support where there was a big move happen, in the same low zone there's a big move happen. Thank you, no problems, thank you. Okay, so let's look at US oil. Looking at monthly on US oil, you have seen that the price created, first of all, there is a liquidity gap here, big drop. Previous month there was a doji, this month creating a lower high, price has created this big bearish candle on US oil on the monthly. Now what do you see, that there is a monthly level of support here on US oil. Looking at the weekly, looks like that this market slowly turning into bearish again. Monthly close will be here with a lower high with the doji, and I think this month's upcoming months we might see again some bearish movement on this one. Looking at weekly, the same way, back to back 2 weeks narrower red candles. Daily, from the daily perspective, we see there is a double top or triple top formation, and there is a big bearish candle followed by another bearish candle. Now this today we see the price is primarily breaking down, and I think that after a little bit of retracement around from this 20 EM on the daily on US oil, the price may continue to drop again. So looking at 4 hour, we see that there is a big move, which is basically in a channel on the lower time frame. For me, the price likely to break this resistance here, going to this 20 EMS zone, and from this level we can expect a rejection, okay, on US oil. So we'll look at gold again. Let's see what happened, guys. We see a candle close. Okay, before I move on further, guys, keep in mind, if anyone looking for a regulated broker, there is a link in the description area for ever trade. If you're in an eligible country, using our link, using the code, you can claim 40% welcome bonus. So you can use that link to be eligible for that bonus if you are in a eligible country. The link in the description area. They are regulated everywhere. So gold, okay, so what's happening is that daily this is in fact a big bounce from daily 20 minute. The reason is this 20 period moving average has not been tested long ago, and that that bounce, in fact, a big one. Yeah. Now the next one will really, or the price action here, how it is reacting over time. We don't have to wait for the next one, but how it is reacting to this level will really determine how it is doing. Right. Support here, support here, support here. On gold, now if you look at the daily, I think that the price, there is a big move with this on this support, and this is the long-term support here, turning resistance. Based on how the price will do, we might find suitable entry opportunity along the zone if we see significant rejection. For me, the way it has bounced from this support, I think that gold slowly might, after deeper retracement here, might form a doji on the 4 hour, and from this zone we might see that again gold is going up. NZD CAD, okay, so there is a bullish candle on NZD CAD, back to back 2 sessions liquidity grab. For me, NZD CAD is bearish. Okay, I think that this market will drop because from the daily price action, what you see, this is the daily chart on NZD CAD. Okay, before we go to the, let me look at a candle close. Let me look at all the pairs to see if we have anything to open. Dollar yen, there is a double top. we see the Nasdaq as a bounce to the upside. So with this impulse correction, we can expect another impulse, or we could see reversal from here, really depending on how it will react to this neckline. I think that we might see further drops on this one here as well. In the similar way, US30, as expected, we see a big bounce. Now, from the daily point of view, in the weekly US30, so we see that primarily a bounce from the support zone on the daily, okay, and at the same time long-term price action on US30. You can see this is a long-term bull market. What I think that from this resistance we should see some more deeper drop, because there has been an impulse correction. We should see another impulse. So for the time being, it's still not ready, the candle is not closed, but I think that it has gone up for a deeper retracement. We should see some further move to the downside based on how the next candle is forming. GBP AUD 4 hour. Okay. Okay, so GBP AUD, we have seen a rejection from 20 period moving average on the daily, but I think we might see a little more movement to the upside, because long-term price action on GBP AUD is bearish. Okay, you can see this is the resistance level here. Okay, so with that resistance level, this is the trend line. Also, if we draw just this one here, and the weekly, daily. Okay, so there is a big liquidity grab. This is the daily chart where the price hit that resistance zone. Also there is a resistance hit here, and from that we have seen a big move correction. We can expect another big move, and I think that slowly this market will give us potential bearish setup, because the way the price action is forming is a long-term bear market. Okay, so we see that there is, you see there was this daily chart is quite important, and you can see there was a big rejection happen in the past, and with that rejection the price is broken out of this structure, and this is the previous resistance level, also acted here as support. And as you can see, support here, resistance. So same level when act as a both support and resistance is in fact very important. So we see that there is a big move happen, correction. We can expect another big move here. So with that in mind, what I would say that GBP AUD might go up further to this level even. The reason is, when you see this kind of move, the correction is not strong enough. It just has a bounce from the daily 20 EMA. Okay, if we take our Fibonacci for this move from high to the low, we see primarily 50%, and this is exactly in line where there is a 61.8% Fibonacci, which is also acting here as a support here, which is acting here as resistance. And for me, I will be waiting for a potential bearish setup from this zone on GBP AUD. Look at the 4 hour where you see that there is a rejection candle here, right? And this is what I was talking about, guys, that when I see that this kind of liquidity zone is being hit or broken, this is where a very high probability trade. So for me, this zone is where I'll be considering shorting opportunity on GBP AUD. For me, it's still, we might see some bullish move on this one. Yep, we'll look at it. No problems. Thank you, Mohanad. So let me look at DXY. Okay, looking at monthly on DXY, we see that monthly perspective, there was after this month had a deeper retracement to the upside and the price has broken down. So the price in a very, very important monthly level of support, as you can see on DXY, after quite a few months drop, has come to a support zone. Let's look at weekly. Now from the weekly perspective, after the previous week's doji, we see that basically DXY has a bounce to the upside. Okay, so there is a, this is the weekly chart where we see the price has a bounce from this weekly level of support. So this is the support here, and also from that zone we can expect now DXY. It's a very big long-term support here. I think that we could see some bounce from this level. Looking at the daily, now with this daily 20 EM, we have seen a rejection. Okay, it's the point where we can see potential trading opportunity. Now for me, because it's look like it is changing its trend, and we have, this is what I exactly expected in the weekly forex forecast, guys. Exactly, this is what I mentioned, that price initially will come back down and then will break to the upside. Did exactly as it is. Give a big thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Press that bell notification if you didn't do it yet, so that you don't miss out any of the content that I'm releasing every day. Now what we see that here on DXY, this is the previous resistance zone here. Okay, this is the resistance here, which is turning support here, and from that support, what we can expect DXY to have a bounce, and this is a very important level. And I think that after penetration of this, probably from this 20 EMA zone, we can expect potential setup on DXY from this level. Let's see what happened. No problem, Lutfi. Absolutely, thank you. Okay, so let me look at monthly. Okay, so from the monthly, looking at NZD USD, okay, this is a bullish market. You can see from this previous month, from the previous monthly support, after grabbing liquidity, we have seen a big bounce on NZD USD. Now with that big bounce, the price has a strong bullish momentum, and the price basically has broken the monthly resistance here as well. Looking at the weekly, from the weekly perspective, there is a support here, big rejection followed by a couple of weeks bullish candle. This week we see that price started to drop. Looking at the daily, what we see that from the daily time frame, the price created kind of reversal here. There's a bulls tried to break this high, but they failed to create this resistance, and we see that the price now slowly consolidating and rejecting to the downside on NZD/USD. So for our perspective, we see that basically NZD/USD has in fact a bounce. Now what do we see that in this price action, the price basically, this is the previous support here, resistance here, support here, support here, support here, which is also support here, turning resistance, and slowly we could see some drop from this zone. So as I mentioned, that if we see the DXY in fact getting bullish or gold is going down as we NZD/USD, we could see the similar way, a rejection from here. Monshad asks, sometimes even though the volume is very big, the price variability range is small, but sometimes even though the volume is small. Okay, we'll talk about it. I understand what you mean. Is basically the liquidity and the volume. We'll discuss it. Okay, it's a bit big topic. We'll discuss it. I understand what you mean, Mohamed. Okay, so okay, as you can see, gold, coming back to gold again, guys, what I think that so this is the neckline of this head and shoulder, big head and shoulder, and for me, I'll sell gold if I see that the price, let's say, penetrated this level, where tested this one, support here, 4-hour support as a resistance, and multiple times, okay, creating series of lower high, then I'll be considering gold for a potential bearish setup. So if we look at the daily here the same way, so for me, gold, depending on how it is doing, if we see that, let's say, has a strong rejection again from the bottom, then we might see that slowly the price again going up to test this zone. On the other hand, if we see rejection from the top grabbing liquidity, we might see that gold in fact created a reversal from here, and we could see potential drop. So for the time being, for short term, we might see some drop on gold, right? So highly likely we might see some drop. Okay, so hopefully that you understood most of the pairs, how they are moving. For AUD/USD, looks like that very strongly bearish. There is a doji here from this resistance. We have seen that AUD/USD has a drop. So for me, you can see that AUD USD back to back 3 days drop. Today the price has come to this zone now as a deeper retracement. I think that this one also will drop for a deeper retracement to the downside on AUD USD. Okay, so yeah, I think this one also will drop. For grabbing liquidity, we might see that some drop on AUD USD. So there's a strong rejection, and you can see this is a very important level of support on AUD USD. Support here, big support, big move happen, and from this support the price overextended to the downside, created this bullish candle. This could be a short-term movement to the downside on AUD USD, around 35 pips, 60 pip at least, and then from here we might see slowly will create a bullish pattern, or it will continue to drop. So today the price action already has a significant drop, but further I think that it will have a further drop. If you look at the weekly, this is what I expected. In fact, the price came to liquidity zone, primarily a rejection, and finally but I think that AUD USD will continue to drop a lot to this level. Okay. Yeah, so looks like that it is also currently bearish, and over time we'll look at it. So these are the pairs. So what we see that basically, if we look at the news calendar, there is a there's CAD news already released. Let's look at the CAD, how it did. And with that news, we have seen this big rejection on USD CAD. This is the CAD candle that you can see. And also 2 a.m., just half an hour later, there's USD news coming up. Okay. So I think that dollar CAD, with that news coming up, this one is going to be bearish. Okay, this is a trading candle because USD and CAD could I think that with the news announcement we might see some strengthening in dollar and testing the zone. From there we might see that finally USD CAD is coming back down. Okay, yeah, so looks like the dollar CAD currently some bearish movement, but finally I think that it will go up for a deeper retracement or grabbing, testing this zone, and then from that level we could see bearish. So dollar CAD slowly will turn into bearish for short term, at least with the news announcement. Okay guys, so these are the pairs. I will still keep eye on any trade that we can find. If anything that I will have, I'll definitely trade and also send it to the students. If you want to trade with us and also learn our strategies, you can find a link in the description area. You can visit us, join our Forex Trading Wizard Academy. And also, if you're looking for a regulated broker, that recommended is EverTrade. There's a link in the description area. You can join us, and also can join that brokerage for they are regulated. And you can have a bonus if you're in an eligible country using that link. So with that in mind, I'm gonna end this session, guys. Thank you very much for being here. I will be live on at the same time tomorrow and also there will be analysis and other content will be posted on the channel. So with that said, thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow in this live session. Talk soon.